I'm Barry Matherly, this year's chair of the International Economic Development Council and also president and CEO of the Greater Richmond Partnership in Richmond, Virginia. So this year I have the unique opportunity to be chair during our 90th anniversary celebration. So it's been very special, and that's why we wanted to make sure we celebrated not only the profession, but also the professional. The people day in, day out in most communities, a lot smaller throughout the U.S., and really try to celebrate them. And so we declared it the Year of the Economic Developer. And so we're trying to do everything we can to raise their awareness and their communities and the work they do in the communities. I think one of the big things is economic developers show you possibilities that others did not think exist. There are economic developers working in areas that you would think no business would go to, or a part of a city or a quarter that people thought businesses would no longer be attracted to. And through their vision, through the toolkits that we give them, actually start to sell a vision to the community of what could be. And from that, they're able to create opportunities in places that we expect them to be, but also where we don't expect them to be. So the biggest satisfaction I get, bar none, is if I get a chance to get down and get into a manufacturing facility or an office complex where we help that company either grow in that community and add those jobs or come into that community. And there you see that they don't know that you had anything to do with it. You're just another person in a suit usually walking through the office or through the manufacturing plant. But just to see them working and to see the buzz and everything going on there and the positive effect it has on them and their community is just so rewarding, and instantly it's why you do this job. I think it's very important because in what we do, we work with a lot of different partners. Economic development is a very collaborative effort. And at the end of the day, when an announcement comes, you're usually going to see more of the elected officials on the podium, the governors, the mayors, and they deserve that credit because they do play a role in economic development. But it's usually the economic developer just off the side of the camera, or maybe taking the picture in a smaller community. They're the ones actually taking the picture that goes into the press release or whatever. And so in all of this, sometimes it gets lost what the role of the economic developer was. And most times, all of these projects started with an economic developer. They finish with a very collaborative group of people, but that opportunity started with an economic developer. So I think it's very fitting, especially during our 90th anniversary, to go back and just kind of recognize the work that we do and take a chance to maybe step in front of the camera once in a while. I think to be a student of the profession. One of the things that I think is just amazing now is the opportunities they have to learn. Over the years, we built a big foundation that they can now look into, that they can work from, the conferences that we have. So what I encourage them always to do is, if you're a student of the profession, you'll always be at the top of the game. You'll always be in demand. You'll always be up to date. And you'll always have a job. I think when you look at the profession as a whole, it kind of goes back to what we were talking earlier, is to be able to create opportunities. And each community asks for different opportunities to be created, depending on what type of community it is. But it's the role of the economic development profession to make that opportunity occur. And then others have to be involved, to make sure it happens. In the end of the day, it's the companies that actually provide the jobs, that actually put in the investment. And it's others who put in the infrastructure. But the economic developer provides that intersection where all that collaboration can occur. It's interesting. I started this career, my first job, as a director of economic development. And so in that role, smaller groups, you're at the kind of the top of your profession there. So I've always had to reach out, and that's where IEDC has become very important, because especially I started in rural economic development, is that to be able to come to conference, to be able to associate. So I didn't have a single role model, but what I had is an organization in IEDC where a lot of leaders that I've interfaced with over the years, and especially board members and past chairs, that I've taken a little something from all of them. And that's helped me kind of build who I am today. I think more and more it's the political nature of everything we do in this world, and especially in the United States. And so we're trying to equip economic developers to work in that arena, sometimes a little more uncomfortable. but it's one of those things that's a part of what we do. It comes into play. And even though it's something that isn't